Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Chipley webinar. Today, we're going to be talking everything multiple processes. If you guys are new here, my name's Chris, and this is also Craig that's here too as well. And so today, we're going to be doing a deep dive into multiple processes, kind of how to set them up in your stores, the best way to lay out multiple processes, and how to get them to look the way that you want them to on your ecom page. I feel like this is one of the most asked questions that we get a lot here at Chipley. So Craig and I figured that we would do a webinar to kind of show you how we go about setting up multiple processes, and it also lets you guys have a direct access to us for however long that this is for you guys to ask us questions. So Craig will share his screen and walk through the best ways to do it. Feel free to ask questions along the way. If it's a simple question, I'll just answer it right away for you guys. But if not, we will wait till the end and kind of just go through them too. So, Craig, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Chris. All right. I'm going to start sharing my screen. Okay. So just to give you a visual right away on what Chris was even talking about, what does multiple processes even mean? What does it look like? Here's an example of a store that has that. So this store they're offering this one women's team tech tee, but they want to offer these choices to the customer on how they want this item designed. So in years past, long time ago, before Chipley had this feature, this item would have to be offered on the store for as many times as you wanted to offer the decorations. Once we came up with the one product, multiple processes, you could now offer many designs on one single item, giving the customer a more diverse choice on how they want that item decorated. So I'm going to go into how can we achieve this look on the store. So I have a store, I have items in it, I have some things set up just to save us on some time. But to fully set up one product, multiple processes, I need to have all my artwork uploaded. So here is one of my full front designs, and then here's the other full front design that I plan to offer. So I have them both uploaded into my store, just like I would any other artwork. Um, but now this one has the delete button while the other ones don't, and that's because this doesn't belong to a process. So the triangular relationship between artwork, process, and products is just that. I need to have an artwork created. That artwork has to belong to a process, and then that process has to be assigned to a product. So I already have the first leg done. I have my artwork uploaded. The next thing I need to do is I need to create that process. So far on this store, I created one of my full fronts, and then I have my left chest embroidery process in here. So a lot of times what I would suggest is you're going to set up one of the processes, and then a lot of times you can just go ahead and copy that process. I'm going to go ahead and change the name. And then I'm going to do oops, raccoon full front. So my suggestion when it comes to naming processes, um, is anytime you have duplicate jobs. So if you're going to have multiple full front jobs, I don't just want to have like full front, full front, full front, because when it comes time to the work order, that might get rather confusing because you're just going to have a full front and then the next page will be full front. And you really have to rely on the artwork page that's associated with it to know the difference between the two. So once I start adding multiple processes that are going to get the same location on garments, I usually will title it something like that, where I have the parentheses and I put a an artwork descriptor in front of it. So honestly, this could be whatever you would like. If your company uses art codes, that could simply be the art code. Um, but honestly, making it something simple here is also helpful to the store builder. And I'll show you why when we get to the products page. There's also a reason why I put it in the front and not after. Again, I'll show you that when I get to the products page. So I'm going to copy this process. I change the name and I'm going to go ahead and hit accept. Here's that new process. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to edit this process. So everything copied over, except for the name, obviously. And I don't want this artwork because I already have that process. So what I want to do is I want to switch the artwork to be my raccoon logo. I still want it to fall on the full front. And then if you're utilizing the process price, another feature that you can utilize when you're doing this is I can change the process price. So what that means is depending on the design the customer chooses when they're shopping is going to determine the price that they pay um, based on this process price. Because this artwork has more colors involved into it, I might change this process price from $5 to $7 per garment. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And then the other thing I need to do is I need to update this ecom display. So many of you may leave this blank or not even touch it, and you may not have even noticed it. The only time that this ecom display factors in is when you are offering multiple designs on one garment. This is for the customer to decide what garment do they or what design do they want. So if I were to look at my store preview right now and I click on this item, all I have to choose is the color that I want and the size that I want. Once I offer another design on this garment, I now a third option is added. I need to choose which design do I want specifically. Um, and that's where this ecom display comes in. So I want to make this like customer friendly. I would maybe do like raccoon logo, and then I'll go ahead and hit save. And now that I have all my processes set up, so I have all my artwork, I have all my processes. Now let's go to our products. So I already have all my products in here, and they're all assigned to just one process. So after you have two processes in your store, just as a heads up, you can only assign all those items to one of the processes at a time. So after you bring them into the store, that's when you can add on that second process. Um, what I could do is I could filter by just the items that are going to be decorated with that full front design. And so this way none of the left chest items are showing up here, which then allows me to just select all, use my bulk actions, and I can change the process to be both my O full front logo and my raccoon full front logo. And then I would hit accept. And then it would start placing that second logo on all those items. However, doing it that way is going to, when you're looking at the store, so actually let me pull up this store again. So that's kind of what must have happened on this store is the person who made it just said, okay, all these items, I want these 5 designs on. And so it's showing the same logo across the items. I would say after how do you add a second process to products? The next most asked question we have is how do you vary the logo that is being displayed on the garments? So I have a somewhat easier way to do this. Um, and I would say we should filter out all of those left chest items because I don't really care about them. Those are done. Those are being decorated the way that they are. There's going to be no change there. What I would suggest doing is the first item here, add on that second design. And the reason why I want to do that just to this one is I want to be able to access this uh what do we call it? This
Kind of like a
like
branch.
branch. Yeah, like a branch menu. This branch menu won't exist until I have at least one item with multiple processes on it. Um, so now what I would suggest doing, now that you have the one, really what I'm going to do is if I want this to alternate with my O logo and the raccoon logo, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick every other garment. I'm going to bulk action. I'm going to change process and I'm going to change. I want the process to change and I want it to be the raccoon logo. What that's doing is it's changing the primary process on the garment. Ultimately, that is what's going to display on the store. So whatever process, oh, did I pick the wrong one? Oh no, it's because I'm filtered by, that's right. I should be filtered by both those processes, sorry. So now I can see everything. Um, so ultimately, whatever is your primary, whatever is the first process shown here is what's going to be displayed on the product. So because the O logo is my primary process here, that's what's going to be displayed when I first visit the store. And then I can see that secondary design. But now that I have all of these products altering, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select all these items again. I'm going to do my bulk actions, change my process, but instead of change, I'm going to hit add. And then I'm going to add my O logo to these because I already have the raccoon logo as my primary image. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that exact same thing, but for that O logo. So I'm going to select all the ones that just have that one process on it. Bulk actions, change process, add. This time I'm going to add the raccoon logo instead of the O logo. And then once this is all done, um, I can go ahead, take a look at my store, refresh it, and I now have those two designs on all those garments. Um, and I have it just varying by display. The other thing that I want to show is when I click on this item, here's where that ecom display came into play. Um, Before, when I showed you the product without multiple processes. So here, let's do this. Those left chest items, since this only has the one design being offered, that ecom display doesn't appear here because there's no need. The customer doesn't have a choice. They don't have a choice between the design. It's just going to be a color and a size. But now that we gave them a choice between designs, we now have this here. So this is where that ecom display comes in. So now when I click on the O logo between the raccoon logo, the customer is going to see the difference in the artwork. Um, and then I can go ahead and choose my color and choose my size. One thing that I want to make note of is the customer is required to select one of those designs. So they cannot check out without picking that. So if I pick a color and a size and I try to add this to my cart, it's going to say, hey, you have to pick a design. So just know that this is pretty, there's a fail safe in place that the customer can't just check out based on what they see. They have to physically choose which design do they want. And then let's also look at what happens to the pricing. So if I want the raccoon logo, this product is going to be $12.75. But if I want the O logo, it's coming in at $10.75. So there's that $2 difference that I made at that process level. Because there's more ink that's involved, colors that are involved, I need to be able to charge more. Same thing if you were offering like a print design versus an embroidery design. Obviously, your embroidery is going to cost a little bit more. So that's how you can factor in the different pricing um, on the same garment. And then I want to show you what that looks like from the customer's perspective. When they start looking at the products on the store, it's going to give them the starting at price. So that's, and it's always going to choose obviously the lower one, the lower pricing that it starts at. And then when they click on it and then they choose the other design, that's when they'll see the price change. Chris. I don't know. I think that's it. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm missing anything else, but I think that's how you would achieve one product, multiple processes. And those are the intricacies of like the different pricing. Um, the only thing I guess I'll touch on is just know that when you're offering the multiple processes, you can't pick and choose what color variation goes on those garments. You're gonna have to either it's all or nothing. It's one product with all the colors that you're offering, but multiple processes. So that's why for this design, I have multiple variations in here. That way I can still offer all of these colors with the O logo as well as that raccoon logo. And you can see we even have a variation in there for the lacrosse to change colors based on the garment that it's going on. So just as a heads up, that's another big question is like, I only want to offer this logo on black, gray, and white. But because you're offering the O logo on all these colors, it's all or nothing. If you needed to do that, you would have to copy the product, offer the one logo on that garment, on that copied garment, in the only colors that you want to offer, and then you could offer the original item in all the colors that you wanted to. I would say that's another question we get asked fairly frequently.
perfect. All right. If anyone has questions or anything like that, feel free to send them in. Um, and if not, Craig did a great job, and I hope this helps with people who are doing multiple processes and adding multiple logos to the stores. Um, but
The other thing I can think of too is this is really great for, um, let's say teams. You could offer, if a team has multiple rosters for a uniform, you could have one process be for one team. Um, so let's use this as an example. I could add in options and I could add, oops, maybe a group drop down, and then this would be like my, I don't know, U10 roster. And I would go ahead and put in um, name A, name B, and maybe I do like number 10 and number 9, let's say. So I'll add those options and then we'll do U10 roster. For the sake of argument, I'm going to make this U10 as well, just so it kind of um, aligns. And then let's say this is my U12. We'll do player A, player B this time. Here, let's even make this the same logo. Um, because usually when you're offering like a jersey, the uniform might stay the same. None of the design changes may change, but you want those options to change. It's mostly like those drop downs that you care about. So now, when I look at these garments, if I click on this, I pick a U10, and now I have my name A 10, name B 9. But if I click on U12 because I'm part of the U12 team, my roster changes and I now can pick player A, player B. So nothing changes with the design essentially, but you're utilizing this multiple process to be able to collect roster information as well.
Perfect.
So, um, yeah, always reach out with that one if you want help setting that up at first or have any if you need any like hints on what are the best practices for that, we'd love to help out.
Cool. All right. Does anyone have any questions or anything with the multiple processes at all? Anybody? Questions? No. Got it. Thank you.
Cool.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, you guys can always check out the recording afterwards, if any questions pop up, or always reach out. We're always willing to help out.
Perfect.
Cool. All right.
Alrighty.
Well, everyone have a great rest of your day.
Yeah. Thank you for joining, everyone.